Greetings and welcome to the Growth Hacking Show. And I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique. And today's our topic is success in a global sports industry. And our guest is Ralph Brown. Ralph Brown is the president and founder of Cup Royale from Hudson, Florida. Ralph, welcome.
Yes. Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you
Ralph,
doing?
excellent,
Yes.
excellent. Let me start with this, Ralph. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to get into the sports industry?
Oh, shoot. I've been a boater all my life. And I was out boating with my kids one day and we hit a rock and broke the motor. And I got mad about how to build boats. And I wanted a boat that would go over the top of the rocks and still be safe on the high seas. And so I just kept dreaming about it. And then my wife got in a bad car wreck and she was disabled for several years. So I had small kids, and not just small kids, but I also had a sick wife, and I had problems. And I found myself dreaming on how to get over my problems, on how to make a boat that would run in very, very little water and still be safe on the high seas. And over a period of a couple of years, I really got passionate about it. And one day, my wife came in and said, either do it or shut up. You are driving everybody nuts. And so, really, she had invited me out to eat with her mother, and we went out to Red Lobster. And I was diagramming boats all night, had no idea how rude I was being. And so, when I'm diagramming boats all night and on a napkin and stuff, and then a couple of days later, my wife asked my mother-in-law if she'd come over for dinner. My mother-in-law said, "No, we went out to eat with you a little while back, and Ralph didn't say two words to us. Because Ralph didn't say two words, I don't want to come out to eat with you." And then my wife explained it for about 2 hours on how, 2 hour explanation. Every guy's been there somewhere along the line on how I should either do this or shut up. You're driving everybody nuts. So she went to bed, and I walked the hallways till about 2 o'clock in the morning and decided to do it. So I spent years inventing a new kind of boat hull. And when I got done with it, it worked really good. I sold them to the U.S. Army, National Park Service, Federal Fish and Wildlife, NOAA, and I've got a line of people in line for them. And then I took one of them. The boat can run in literally this much water, and I took it from Tampa, Florida, all the way to Wiesbaden, Germany, 8,312 miles. And I ended up making 17 ocean voyages. And with those 17 ocean voyages, I set 4 world records. And each time I was getting ready to do it, you get a whole line of people laughing at you. You can't do this. It's just not possible. Well, it is possible. It was done and is done. But while we were doing that, I ran across a way to make a big boat use a lot less fuel and go a lot faster. And that became another dream of mine, how to make a big boat operate in a lot less fuel and go a lot faster. And we started looking at setting a record for going around the world, and started looking at this and said, wait a minute, this is a huge opportunity to create a race around the world where we invite one team per country, and only one team per country, to race us around the world. But just racing around the world, that would be boring because it's a lot of driving and nothing happening. So we decided we'd break it down into 20 ocean voyages, most of them being about 3,000 miles, and 20 harbor races. So when you get where you're going, you race in the harbor. And I was looking at this sailboat race called the Volvo Ocean Race, and they have a television audience that's 450 million people watch it. And like here in the United States, we've got NASCAR. When you add up all 92 of their races combined, well, the Sprint Series, the Stock Series, and Truck Series, add them all up together, they don't even have 300 million people watching it. Cumulative, not one time, but you add them all up together, it's not even 300 million. And if you look at the Volvo Ocean Race, they got 450 million. Then when you look at the peripherals, people who watch it by accident, that's another 2.2 billion. So wow, that's big, 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 big. And realize that right now, television networks are losing out to all kinds of different programs like this one right here. They're losing out to YouTube programs. They're losing out to Netflix. They're losing out to Amazon Prime. They're losing out to all these different broadcasting systems that didn't exist 30 years ago, but they're all everywhere. So the networks like gigantic capture exclusive rights to gigantic audiences, and they pay a lot of money for it. You know, for instance, again, we mentioned NASCAR a minute ago. NASCAR sells their television rights for $820 million a year. The NFL, National Football League, sells their television rights for $8 billion. $8 billion. I started thinking about that. That's huge, huge. The Olympics last a couple of weeks at a time, and they sell their television rights for in the area of $2 billion for 2 weeks of TV. You go, how can they do that? Because how else can you get in front of the whole world? Now, a lot of people say, well, I'll get on the internet and I'll advertise to the whole world. Yeah, there's I'm sorry. I think it's like 4 billion internet pages and 190 million companies competing for those internet pages. So how are you going to beat out 190 companies? It's just super expensive to do it by buying Google ads. That's how Google makes 95 billion a year, selling to all these companies that want to be seen. So it's a huge opportunity here that we could create a large television audience like the Volvo Ocean Race. But I'm going to stop talking and leave you a chance to ask questions. I could just, I'm like one of them little rabbits or Energizer bunnies. You wind up and let them talk. I can just get on my soapbox and go.
I love you, Ralph. I love your energy. Looks like you are 18 years old, man.
How old?
18.
80 or 18?
18, 1-8.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That's the level of your excitement level,
Oh, for a minute there, I thought you were saying 80, and I'm going, okay, this guy's not my friend anymore.
Okay, Ralph, I appreciate. Where are you right now? You at your home or where? Doesn't look like a home.
I'm sitting on a boat, actually standing on a boat in Hudson Harbor, Hudson, Florida. I'm going to take this here. I'm going to see what you can see here. The boat I'm on, we built from scratch, just from a piece of paper. Okay. But anyways, it's 42 feet long. You're going out the back door here. I'm kind of giving you a look down. I don't know how much you can see. When you get out in the sunlight, it might just kill the footage here.
It's amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. It's great. Oh my, lovely.
So I'm out here. So here we catch our fish and we cook them right here. Okay. As far as that goes, place to clean. Obviously, the boat needs to be cleaned up. We just got in from a couple of day trip, and it's going back out. But you can get an idea how big it is. Again, we built this from scratch in our shop. Okay, just from an idea on a piece of paper. And now we're building a 68-footer to race all the way around the world. I'm going to go in here where the shade is. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the neighbors has some dogs. That you can probably hear that. I'm looking out the window there with the dogs are barking. But that's back in here in the shade because that's where I'm at, the shade.
No, wonderful. Thank you so much for giving us a virtual tour. So, Ralph, you are on this interview with me on Growth Hacking Show is because Muhammad Aslam from my team actually recommended you, so we should talk. So, thank you, Muhammad Aslam. And what would you recommend? Top 3 success secrets to be so passionate when you want to put your mind something to it. I can see you're resilient. You do not take a no for anything, and you work hard until you get it. What's the formula?
Yeah,
what's the secret?
I'm kind of that way. When we got ready for the first voyage, I made 17 ocean voyages and set 4 world records doing it. We were filling the boat full of fuel, and we were at around a bunch of professional boaters, and they were laughing, not to my face, but just loud enough for me to hear them, and just in a way that it kind of looked like, you can't, almost like they couldn't be seen, but these guys are going to die. They're never going to make it. They're never going to make it. It's impossible. They're laughing. Okay. Well, guess what? We did make it. Okay. And the reason it was a world record is because no one else in the history of the world had ever done it. That's why it was a world record. And so, you kind of have to, if you're going to try to do something that's different and better than other people, one of the ways you know that you're shooting for something that's bigger and better is by the number of people who attack you and say you're nuts. Because if everybody thinks what you're doing is easy to do and everybody thinks it's going to happen easily, then you're not really trying to do something that's new and better. Okay? You've got to be going beyond that, because if you're not, they'll think, okay, that's normal. Well, I'm trying to do something that's never been done before. There's never been a powerboat race all the way around the world. In fact, very few powerboats have gone around the world. A bunch of sailboats have, but because of the amount of fuel that's necessary for powerboats, I mean, a few of them have gone around the world, but they take a couple of years. I'm talking about actually just going in, close to, in a short period of time. The record for a sailboat to go around the world is 41 days. And people say, well, okay, the powerboat's got to be faster than that. No, it's not. It's actually 50% longer. It's 61 days for a powerboat. And most people give you this dumbfounded look like, how can that be? Boats can go some of them have gone 300 miles an hour. Sailboats don't go anywhere near that fast. Yeah, they go 200 miles an hour for 15 minutes. And then they run out of fuel. Okay? So we're doing races that are, most of our legs are 3,000 miles or somewhere in that area. And the boats that can race that far don't exist. On the planet, there's maybe 5 on the whole planet. And that's probably a high number. Okay? I really only know of 2, maybe 3 that can do it. And so I'm building one designed specifically for that purpose, to be able to race 3,000 miles. And we hope what we want to do is throw the challenge down, the gauntlet down for engineers, engine companies, naval architects, and some people with money, because it takes money to do this, to join our race. Okay, we expect the first race, when we add everything involved in it, it's going to cost us somewhere around $60 million to do this. And so what people are doing is they're buying the team from their country. Okay, so if you're from like France and you want to buy the team from France, well, you chip in, and what you chip in towards the cost, that gives you the team, okay, from France. And so you own it. So next year when we race, you own the team from France. The year after that when we race, you own the team from France. The year after that, you own the team from France every year. And what you do is then you go out and get a company, maybe a perfume manufacturer or a shirt manufacturer or a car company that wants their name all over the TV, all over the world, and they will usually pay for all your bills. And then you'll have some reserve. Like on the America's Cup, the British team is sponsored by Enos. They paid 150 million euros. Excuse me, pounds. It's 150. Anyways, it comes out to a little bit more than $150 million. They paid, and then Land Rover and Grenadier chipped in and paid some more. So the total sponsorship for the British America's Cup team is about $200 million. I think it's 200 million pounds what it is, but it's somewhere in that area, very close to it. You say, why would they pay $200 million to put their name on a sailboat? How else can you get your name in front of the whole world? How are you going to do it? It's very difficult. And so if we look at, like for years, the American team was sponsored by Oracle, and Oracle paid over $100 million per season to put their name on a sailboat. People, why would they do that? Again, for the same reason. How else do you get in front of the whole world? And so it's a lot of money goes into this. If you look at the Formula One, the sponsorship on Formula One is the top cars is over $300 million that they spend every year on their team. Now, why would they do that? Because how else does Mercedes-Benz put their name in front of everybody around the world? Red Bull is also another big sponsor. Is that wind getting noisy on you?
No, it's good. It's good.
Okay, I was wondering because the wind finally started blowing through the windows here. I said, oh, cool, man. It's cooling me off. Okay. I'm in Florida. It's warm down here.
Understood.
So, I mean, there's a lot of money that goes into this kind of stuff, and we're looking to create something that not only makes money, but on top of that, what it does is it's a contest to change the hydrodynamics and propulsion systems of the world. Now, if you look at the shipping industry is, it's big. Everything that's almost every piece of anything that's traded goes by ship. Now, there's some goes by airplanes, but the amount that goes by jets and the amount that goes by ship is just huge difference. Okay, but the shipping industry burns 100 billion barrels of oil. Now think about that. Each barrel is 42 gallons.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 4,000. Okay, hang on, 4,200 billion barrels. That's, that's a lot of oil. I mean, how much? Can you imagine how much that is? Each barrel is 42. It's a lot. So the shipping industry hasn't changed much in 70 years.
Yeah.
And this is a global contest to try to improve fuel efficiency, propulsion systems, and hydrodynamics of the shipping industry. And that's what our goals. And we already know, we've already come up with some things that are not used today that we know will give them a big boost. And so they're not listening to us yet, but the old concept is if you build it, they will come. So once we get this race going and they start to see for their own eyes, wow, okay, boats that could not race. I mean, if you go back a few years to get a boat to go 3,000 miles, most of these things are running about 7 or 8 miles an hour. They're not going very fast. Okay, now you can take a boat that does 40 miles an hour for 3,000 miles. The whole world's a boating industry, whole world of shipping industry is going to take a look at this. Say, wow, that's something. When you start saving, 20, 30% of fuel, that's a lot. And that's our goal.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Ralph, how you get this level of resilience and commitment level to you? And looks like everybody who is watching to you and plus wherever you're presented, they say, no way, it's not going to work like this. That's not how the hell this one person is going to change this whole shipping industry. And people don't believe what you say. How you overcome that? You keep going basically with that belief I'm going to make it happen, and you better watch out. How do you create that level of commitment to yourself?
I don't know how you create it. For me, I've never been one to accept the idea that it can't be done. When I was in the Marine Corps, they sent me to Denver, Colorado for a while, and the Marine Corps has a physical fitness test. And under normal circumstances, about 1 out of every 700 to 1,000 Marines can get a perfect score in the physical fitness test, somewhere in that area. And so they sent me to Denver, and I'm the guy that got it down at sea level. Okay, but they got in Denver, it's a mile high, so the air's a lot thinner. And I got there, and people told me you cannot get a perfect score on the physical fitness test here. No one in the history of the Marine unit here has ever done it. And I don't think it's that hard, but it's hard enough that 1 out of about 700 Marines can get it. Okay, and that's not 700 people. 1 out of 700 Marines can get it. So I just told people I was going to do it, and they started laughing at me. And then I put down a training schedule, and I followed the training schedule. And when it came time to run the physical fitness test, I got a perfect score. It's somewhere along the line, you make a commitment to getting the job done, and you stay behind it.
Understood. So, Ralph, based on your experience of commitment level and achieving world records in your you got the perfect score with the 700 Marines. What's the single most professional failure you had in your life, and what did you learn from it, and how do you recover from that?
The single best experience.
Now, single most professional failure in your life.
Oh, failure.
What did you learn from that, and how did you recover from that?
I started building boats without enough money, and I got in trouble financially. I would say that's probably my biggest failure. And I shut things down. I was told to file bankruptcy. I refused. I will not file bankruptcy. And I basically redesigned my plan as to how to succeed and to how to bring the boat manufacturing with it. Okay. And you sat down and every day I go for a walk. I won't say almost every day I go for a walk of more than a mile to clear my head and to put myself alone with God and nature. And so I try to.
How much walk? 1 mile?
Just a 1 mile walk, not that far.
Okay.
Every day. Okay. Every day. Been doing it for about 15 years. It's just something I just do every day. I mean, I run a couple of miles at a time now with my dog, but I don't do that every day. Okay, so it's bad on your knees to run every day. But you run a couple times a week. But you go for a walk and you think, and then you come down and you write your goals out. And one of the things you do, like for instance, I got so much publicity before I was ready for it. I got to be very, very good at getting my name in the news. I've never been to China. I can show you a 4-page article in China on me, but I've never been to China. I can show you news articles in Germany and written in German. I can show you television broadcasts in German, okay, talking about me. So I'm very good at getting in the news. But one of the things I did was get in the news before I was ready. And you send out red flags to people that are potential investors if you get too much publicity before you're ready. So basically, I had to back all the way up and go through a complete new plan restructure. And then I had to go find help. Because see, getting it done by yourself is certain, you can do so much by yourself. But when you have a goal that's way bigger than you need help. You just flat out need help. So I signed a contract with a group called Venture Net Partners out of California to bring us $18 million in to help to create this race. Because again, I tried to get a company off the ground without enough money, and it blew up in my face. And so I basically backed all the way up, shut things down, backed up, and redesigned what I was doing, how I was doing it, budgeted everything, and then most importantly, got help. Because if you don't get help, it's you're hurting yourself. It's not what you can accomplish by yourself that matters anyhow.
Yeah, ask for help. Ask for help. That's a key lesson anytime. So, all people who are watching this, how they can support you?
Well, they can. Basically, anybody that's interested in being part of this is free to call me. My phone number is on the website at 352-346-2365. And the website is cuproyale.com. Now, cup as in race or tournament, or you can remember as a coffee cup if you want. Okay, but cup as in race or tournament. Royale is the French spelling of royal, which means extreme or royalty. So it's Royale. You got that French spelling in there. You've got to have that French. Royale. We changed names a couple of times. We were originally going to go with Ocean's Quest. And that's why my email is Ocean's Quest. But we love the name. It's a beautiful name, but it just didn't have any fight to it. And just didn't any spunk. And then I changed the name from Ocean's Quest to PRA, Powerboat Race Around the World. PRAW. PRA.
I put your website right here so people can see it. CUPROYALE.com.
That's correct. cuproyale.com. Okay. And our contact information's on there. Or my email is ralph@cuproyale.com.
I'm sharing your website right now, then and there. Let the race begin.
Yes, that's our website.
Yeah.
And and then I had the name PRA for a while, but the reality is a lot of people told me they just didn't like the name PRA. It didn't say anything. So a lot of work went into changing the name from PRA to the next name. I probably discussed it with more than 500 people before I came up with the name Cup Royale. Several people had suggested Ocean Royale. Literally, you know,
Yeah.
I made some mistakes, and I try to learn from my mistakes and try to get help. Get people that know more than you do. The woods are full of them. And you know what's really cool?
Absolutely.
You know what's really cool?
Yeah. So
people like to be asked.
people like to be asked. So people like to be asked. Yeah. So people like to be asked. I'm going to ask you this question now. So you are on a growth hacking show, Ralph, today. What would you say to your best friends about this show when I'm not there?
Well, I'm good. Hey, I think it's great. Okay. First of all, a chance I get to get here and talk to all of your people, all of your friends, all the people that love what you do, and tell them my dream. That's fantastic. Because, you know, I want people to know our dream, and we'll create this race around the world. So I would encourage people to, well, first of all, you're asking questions. You're giving me a chance to not just to answer not just all the questions you want, but I get a chance to share my own opinion. That's pretty cool. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. I think it's good. It's fantastic. Okay. 2 thumbs up.
Thank you. So, Ralph, as we are about to wrap up, what would you say as a final word?
Go get it done.
Go get it done. That's powerful. That's very powerful. Thank you so much for Ralph Brown sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of a Growth Hacking Show community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. I am your host at a Growth Hacking Show. All best wishes.
2 thumbs up. Great times are coming.